Okay, now we are recording. So I'm being sneaky here. I'm gonna take this thing out for a little ride before me and Mike go out and check the after results, because I'm smart enough to know that having all the power in the world doesn't do you any good unless you can actually control it and use it. So I want to see what this thing's gonna act like when I go for a ride. Let you come with me. Oh yeah, she sounds much better. Throttle's response is super crisp now. Oh, perfect. Get behind a couple lawn trucks. We got to get warmed up anyway, so that's fine. Sounds sort of rowdy at an idle now. We have her in sport mode now. I can feel the additional engine braking. Got a little D-cell pop. Penta carbons are short. You're gonna get that. Holy cow. This is an entirely different motorcycle. You can feel the acceleration. I'm not even trying to really raise any hell. Now you'll notice a couple things since our last ride. I've added a steering damper to this bike. Yet again, I have a fairly good idea what happens when you add an additional 100 horsepower in the high revs. Man, this thing is tall. Third gear roll. Thing is a flippin'. She's a beast. And I'm being very gentle with the gas. It's gonna take a little bit of getting used to, but boy, the giggle factor is way up, as you can tell. Alright, in order for me to do my roll-on with Mike, it's really obvious that I'm going to need to put a front strap on this bike, because otherwise opening the gas is, I mean, that was second gear. As soon as it started to come up into power about 10,000, where ordinarily the nanny controls would back off the gas, it's not backing off, and it was coming up with some quickness and authority. You can't feel the front end get light like I can. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but holy cow, this is not the same motorcycle. All right, guys. So, our last video, you seemed to like it. It was like before all the mods, and there were so many people that said, wow, I'd like to see the results afterward.
Genius.
Genius. That's a great idea. So after, what are we looking at? All right, so this is Dan number 2's bike, the one that made the pitiful horsepower. Let me get my ass kicked. Which, by the way, I have thrown in some retro Keith Dennis. What does that mean? You young guys don't even know what's happening. Keith Dennis, we put him on a 2009 GSX-R 1000,
and let him run AMA drag bike, and he kicked the bejesus out of everybody. From the time he sat on that bike until the national championship that he won, he never lost a round. This is for you. Beating up on me last time. So anyway, the bike has changed a little. We have our Penta Carbon exhaust. It's beautiful. You'll notice a little heat. These, don't worry about that. These supercharged bikes build a little heat when you're developing mapping. Dan number 2 was going to get it black ceramic coated in the wintertime, so a little bit of abuse there's no big deal. We saved over 21 pounds just by pulling the stock exhaust off. Plus, you've got the X-up valve and the other crap we don't need.
Right.
What else did we do? It has a Sprint Filter P08 F1-85.
Correct.
Dan will be street riding. It's got 93 octane marathon gas. I went ahead and installed a one of our steering dampers because I got a real feeling that it's not like it didn't need it before. They handle pretty nice,
right.
But I just can't even imagine what's going to happen here. And I also went ahead and snuck in a front strap, and the only reason is because I'm vertically challenged, right? I'm not trying to get any kind of advantage over Mike here, who put it on me last time. So what else did we do? Oh, that Brendan guy.
That got a thing or two to it.
Yeah, plugged a little box into a little connector, went pokey, and the next thing we know, this bike, as we rolled it off the dyno, just made 227 horsepower, right?
Up against this, I don't like those numbers.
I like them much better. I like them much better now. I didn't like the old numbers. So anyway, we're gonna go out here for a quick ride. We got some beautiful weather. It's gonna be nice.
Gorgeous.
We're trying to beat some holiday traffic here, so we're just gonna, Mexico's not that far away, but it is a little bit of a trip.
Yep.
Oh, the good news is we've got somebody here with their radio blaring as we're shooting videos. Awesome. We're not gonna let that bother us. We're gonna go ride motorcycles. We'll see you guys here real soon. All right, we made it to beautiful lush green Mexico. I'm gonna go ahead and strap my front end down a little bit, Mike. Feels pretty good. So we're gonna do our second gear roll and just sort of see what happens. Have to wait until there's a sizable gap in traffic, which we're actually looking fairly good right now, it looks like. Let's go ahead and go. All right, I'm in first. I'm in second. See if I can hold this damn thing down. You ready? Yeah, come on. Go for it. Alright guys, so let me tell you what's going on here. I cannot get the gas open on this bike. Mike, can you hear me? I was 120 miles an hour and I'm trying to get the gas open and it ain't happening. It is toting the damn front wheel. Now this I knew it was going to be a handful, but holy cow. Let's go ahead and we'll just go ahead and turn around and I'll try a different technique. Maybe I can short shift it. There's just no way. Every time I try to get in it, it just wanted to keep on coming up higher and higher. I may have to try to get this strap down a little bit lower. I'll do that here in a minute. We may have to try third. Right now this thing's useless. The first thing I would do is go back and at least add one tooth to the front and probably take 3 or 4 off the rear. It is that bad. Which of course is a great problem to have when you didn't have it before. Well, holy cow. All right
Alright guys, so where we are right now, we're trying to find another spot. That doesn't have so much traffic, because even in Mexico you need to be socially responsible, not go blowing past a school bus full of babies at 100 and whatever mile an hour. Alright Mike, so remember how I told you that previously when I got in the gas and this thing got into third gear and started rolling, not only were you pulling away from me, but this bike felt like it threw out a parachute. It would just slow down and you'd continually pull away. That's gone. That's completely and totally gone. This thing is hauling ass, and it is not going to stop hauling ass until I tell it to. You want to go down to third? Alright, I'm there if you are. Come on. I tell you what, third gear, at least I didn't have to fight it. I still had to roll on some, but man, this thing picks up and flipping goes. Let's get up in front of this one. We might be able to pull off another one real quick. I want to pull over here and pull the strap a little bit. I got the strap so tight I can't even see the tack. Seriously, when we go over the little deals, I can't see it. Yeah, I had it just too tight. I need some kind of suspension on this roads. Do third at about 50. Alright. First, second, third. I'm at about 40. Come on. Go. Holy shit. Did you see me wheeling over the center line? I'm telling you, our ZH2 owners may want to be careful what they ask for. Hey, let's go up here and turn on, and we'll switch bikes so you can play with it a little on the way back. And I don't think I was all the way locked because I couldn't get it. And I'm like, come on, come on, come on. And I tried to screw it on. Next thing you know, it's wheeling and drifting. Like, fuck, really? Wow, dude. That is crazy. Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't get my ass whooped. This bike still, in order to race like that, it's still gonna take, it's gonna take some additional adjustments. It needs to be lower. If it was longer, oh shit. I haven't had to fight power wheelies going that fast since my Bandit. Here, let's just pull over. All we're doing is we're just swapping bikes. Not like it's gonna take very long. No, I don't need it strapped. I'm not gonna raise any hell. Let you play around with this, do a little hellion stuff. Just be careful, dudes, for real. Fuck. You got your fairing, your double bubble. I told you. Now, for those of you watching our YouTube video, you can't hear Mike giggling like a schoolgirl every time he tries to get into the gas. I told you to. keeping that thing on the ground is a chore. Yeah, I was gonna say, but buddy hops are certainly no problem. It is. First gear's a joke. Even with the nanny controls, it's just a joke. Really? Right? Not the same motorcycle. Like I said, careful what you ask for, man. It is mentally taxing. That is for damn sure. What's the next one down from Sport? That's not rain, is it? Road? Try it on road. See what it does. Maybe it's a little calmer. That might really come in handy. Of course, you might just be going da, 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 all the time too, though. So the question is, if you stay in the gas, is it just going to stay up? It looks like it's not even thinking about coming down until you back off. Hey, that wasn't bad. It didn't get up too awfully high though. It basically held it there. So I have people ask me all the time, how come that Jeremy Teasley could only run an 899 on the H2 if it made 250 horsepower? And I tell them, okay, it only went an 899, but it went 170. What that means is we have a really fast motorcycle that is extremely difficult to ride. You want to switch? And that's the same thing here. I mean, this thing is absolutely brutally fast now, but having all the power in the world is nothing without control. We know that. It just takes figuring all that out. I'll tell you what, you stretch one of these things, oh well, hell, you put our extensions on it, it's an 8-second quarter-mile motorcycle all day long. You get the thing really stretched and start using this power, and I really believe it'd go in the 7s. Set up correctly. Set up like Chris Moore and Ricky and those boys with their stock motorbikes. That's right. That's right. Ass whooping. Ass whooping. To be fair, how do you even put it into words?
I don't know.
It wouldn't even be a close race if this bike was anything close to controlling. It's just not.
The only reason that I was in sight was because you couldn't keep the front wheel down at 130.
And I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera, but we did a third gear, 50 mile an hour. 50 mile an hour, took off, got the bike down. As it started to climb, it just wheelied and stayed wheeling and stayed wheeling. Like you said, probably 130. Hopefully we can see it on the speedo. Starts drifting over into Mike's lane on the rear wheel. Like, I don't want to lift though, I want to win. Oh, geez. Dan's gonna have
his hands folded.
He's gonna have his hands, even in rider mode where they soften everything up. You gotta be on your A game, because it's just a little bit too much gas, and we go from skimming the wheel with the rev limiter on to oh shit, holy cow, crazy.
Just that couple miles that I was on, this smile's gonna stay here all weekend.
I wish you guys could have heard him in my Senna. He was cracking up.
I was 6 years old and it was Christmas morning. Oh my gosh.
All right, guys, we have completely ruined a nice soft, smooth, pleasant naked bike that you can go out cruising on. And we have turned this thing's a monster. And I will double down on my, you don't just let anybody ride this bike now.
No.
Even like you, I mean, rain mode, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I've been riding my 200 horsepower ZX-10 for 5 years now. That scared the shit out of me.
Third gear power wheelies effortlessly.
Yeah.
No touch the clutch. You don't need the clutch. The clutch is going to last forever because you never have to touch it again once you get rolling, right?
Right.
And this thing is on the gas. When we did our very first roll-on, I was trying to keep the front end on the ground, and I knew I couldn't get in the gas. I'm trying to screw it on, and I can just feel it. It's not on the ground. I'm shifting. It's like, okay, I screw it on a little more, and it's still not on the ground. A little more. It's like, son of a, geez. So here, I use this analogy for people sometimes. Let's take two completely identical stock motorcycles. I don't care if it's two ZX-10s or two ZH2s. Let's put nitrous oxide on it, on one of them, and drag race from a dead stop. But the bike with nitrous has nitrous in the throttle. Who's gonna win?
I'm gonna say the stock bike.
From a drag race, you're gonna be over here doing this so much, you can't get the gas open, the stock bike will take it. From a roll-on standpoint, now take those two same bikes in third,
yeah,
and roll on, and that nitrous bike is really going to take over. That's what we have here. The only way I could even think about trying to side-by-side race him was third gear. First gear is now granny gear. It's only to get you rolling. Flip into second as soon as you can. Second gear, trying to get into gas, it's futile. Just, you can't do it. Third gear at a low enough RPM, you can get the bike going and it starts hauling ass. And as soon as it gets up around 9,500, 10,000 RPM, that front end is coming up and it is not going to come down until you either shift or back off the gas. It's really, believe it or not, there's more in it. I don't know that I want it.
On that wheelbase, no. No.
So anyway,
your average rider, you could take 30 of that horsepower back out and would still be more than enough for your average round town twisties riding.
Yeah, you're naked guys who like to do wheelies and clown around. I have guys ask me all the time, you know, how would it do compared to a Super Duke? And I haven't actually ridden one. I understand they're really good bikes with really good motors. If we have someone near the Dayton, Ohio area, maybe we'll take a trip down to Mexico and see how they do. I got a feeling we got a little something from Mr. Super Duke, because that bike there is not slow, right? That is not a slow motorcycle. And this thing, it went from completely getting its ass whooped. To stay out of my lane, Mike. I'm trying to wheelie past you. Anyway, enough babbling, enough giggling. I think we've accomplished the task at hand. Everything available, everything for this bike's available at Brock's Performance. You're gonna have to get with Bren Tuning directly on your flash. We're gonna let them handle the flash. We'll handle the products, Power Commander mapping to match all this together. That reminds me, what do you think about the smoothness, the drivability, as far as roll on and?
It's very crisp. In sport mode, which is how it was originally set up, just have to be easy with it. It's very, very reactive, but it's still crisp. It's smooth. There's no herky jerkiness, nothing like that.
And any perceived jerkiness is because the bike just has so much more power.
Yeah, it's putting
and
the
you
power
don't,
down
you
instantly.
just don't have to give it that much gas for it to take that power and. So
we did play around with putting it down into road mode, and
soften it up some.
Yeah, it softened it up enough to where you're not wheeling off of every touch of the throttle.
Right.
But still plenty of power there to have more than enough fun with it, so the variances in the power mode seem to work. You can play around with it and kind of figure out what works best for you, but for your average person, I'd say road mode is right where it's at.
It is a ball. What do you even compare it to? I don't even know what to compare this
I've
to.
never been on anything like that before,
Yeah.
so I got nothing.
Yeah. It's comfortable. It's actually so short. Me and my beer belly can't really tuck. But man, it's super comfortable, and for that kind of comfort, you're not going to find anything even close power-wise. What? It's the real deal. You guys who bought a supercharged bike because you wanted a supercharged bike, that's a supercharged bike.
Yeah.
What it was before is nice. Still a nice bike to ride back then, but wow. This thing is a brute, it is a beast, and if you're not careful, the beast will bite you. So anyway, until next time, I'm Brock from Brock's Performance. Mike, thank you. And so you guys know, Mike and Dan are really good friends, so Dan doesn't mind Mike jumping on his bike, having a little bit of fun, and we have permission. So until next time, I'm Brock from Brock's Performance. We'll see you then.